90% of engine modifications are engine-killing scams, but I've handpicked the 13 engine mods that are worth it. And everyone's been dyno-tested, track-proven, or punished in brutal daily driving. One gave a Civic 11 extra miles per gallon. Another made a V6 spank a Mustang GT. Stick around because I'll reveal the most catastrophic mod I've ever seen. It melted a turbo and bankrupted one guy for $6,300. Let's get to it. Mod number 13, High Flow Air Filter. First time I saw someone swap a stock air filter for a high-flow one, I dismissed it as a scam. Thought it was a waste of money. But then I drove the damn car. Throttle felt snappier. Idle was smoother. MPG ticked up just a bit. I shut my mouth real quick. A high-flow air filter lets your engine breathe the way it wants to breathe. Stock filters are fine if you're just grocery getting. But if you give a damn about performance or long-term reliability, upgrade it. I've put these on trucks, tuners, old muscle, daily beaters, you name it. KNN, AEM, Inspector. Proven brands that don't fall apart like the cheap crap online. And yeah, they cost more upfront, but they're washable and reusable. One good one can outlast 10 paper filters. Pays for itself. Big mistake folks make, slapping it in and calling it a cold air intake. It's not. And don't go soaking it in oil like you're basting a turkey. Too much oil can foul up your MEF sensor. It's a simple mod, takes minutes, but it lays the foundation for every other upgrade. Better air in, better performance out. But if you think breathing in better air matters, wait till we reprogram the brain behind it all. Mod number 12, ECU Remap. Your engine's capable of a hell of a lot more than the factory tune allows. But the stock ECU is holding your engine hostage. Fuel economy, emissions, smooth drivability for your grandma. That's what it's built for. You want real performance, you tune it. An ECU remap done right unleashes the beast inside the engine. I'm talking sharper throttle, more torque, better timing, optimized fuel curves. I've tuned bone stock engines that felt like a whole new machine after a proper map. But here's the dead end. Don't use garbage tunes from forums or cheap flash tools. Had a guy come in once with a fried ECU. He tried to tune it himself off some $40 USB dongle. His car screamed in agony, knocked like hell, burnt the valves, and was seconds from a molten death. Use legit platforms like HP tuners. Great for GM, Ford, and Dodge platforms. Tons of control. Cobb Access Board, perfect for Subarus, Mazdas, and Fords. Plug and play with Dyna-ready maps. Hondata for Hondas and Acuras. Super precise and highly tunable. These aren't just fancy names. They're proven tools that pros rely on. And speaking of pros, get it tuned by someone who knows their way around a dyno. This isn't a video game. You're rewriting the brain of a car. Treat it with extreme caution. You've just unlocked hidden power. But now that you're pushing harder, you better let that exhaust flow like it means business. Mod number 11, Performance Exhaust System. Ever tried driving with a clogged tailpipe? That's what your engine's dealing with on a stock exhaust. Restricted flow, heat buildup, and wasted power. A performance exhaust system sets it free. You get better flow, less back pressure, and if you do it right, real horsepower. I've installed full exhaust on Camaros, WRXs, even old Civics. Every time the motor breathes easier. Pair it with a tune, now you're talking. Torque curve smooths out, throttle response sharpens, and the sound, deep, controlled. No far cans here. But don't just bolt on the loudest thing you can find. That's a recipe for disaster. Too big a pipe, and you kill your low end. No scavenging, no velocity, just noise. Stick with mandrel bent tubing. Stainless steel if you've got the coin. Don't cheap out on welds either. I've seen slip-fit junk rattle apart in a week. Leave your resonators intact, too. Unless you want cabin drone drumming in your head every highway mile. This isn't about being loud. It's about being efficient. Clean out the junk. Let that engine exhale with purpose. Now that she's breathing easy, let's feed it colder, denser air, the way it was meant to run. Mod number 10, Cold Air Intake. This one's dangerous territory. Cold air intakes get hyped to hell. Every 19-year-old with a socket set thinks slapping on a shiny pipe makes them a race car engineer. Most of them are just sucking in hot engine bay air and losing power. But a properly designed cold air intake placed outside the heat zone, sealed off, pulling fresh, dense air, that's a real upgrade. I installed one on a 6th-gen Camaro with a heat shield and fender well scoop. Paired it with a tune, Picked up 10 to 15 horsepower at the wheels. Not bad for bolt-on and done right. But here's where folks destroy their engine. They buy a generic pipe off eBay, throw it on near the exhaust manifold, and wonder why their car feels sluggish. It ain't about looks, it's about air temperature. Cooler air packs more oxygen. More oxygen means better combustion. Simple science. And don't ignore your MAF sensor. Relocate it wrong, and your AFR goes haywire. Boom. Check engine light. Stick with names like AEM, Engine, or Volant. They've tested their stuff. They didn't just bin pipes in a backyard and call it performance. So, we've laid the foundation. We're breathing better air, we've reprogrammed the brain, and we're exhaling with purpose. But we're just getting warmed up. In part 2, we're moving beyond simple bolt-ons and into the heart of the machine. We're going inside the engine to make it spin faster and hit harder. I'll show you the $20 part that can save your engine from a slow death, the simple pulley swap that frees up hidden horsepower, and the single most important upgrade for any tuned car. An upgrade so critical that forgetting it is gambling with a grenade. You will not want to miss it. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you know the moment part 2 goes live. In the meantime, which of these first 4 mods are you adding to your car first? Let me know in the comments below. If you're finding these tips helpful, do us a quick favor. Subscribe to Car Care Talks. It's the easiest way to make sure you never miss a video that could save you from a costly repair. And always drop a comment below. Your questions and stories help other drivers find this channel and avoid the same problems. Now let's get back to it and talk about the next critical symptom.
Welcome back to Car Care Talks. In part 1, we laid the foundation: better air in, smarter tuning, and cleaner exhaust out. But that was just the warm-up. Now we're going deeper. We're unlocking power hidden inside your engine and adding the crucial upgrades that protect it when you push harder. This is where the real transformation begins. Let's get straight into it. Mod number 9, Lightweight Pulley Kit. Most folks chase horsepower. They forget about freeing it up. That's where lightweight pulleys come in. Think of it like this: your engine spinning belts all day. Alternator, power steering, water pump. The heavier those pulleys, the more energy your engine wastes just turning its own guts. Swap them for lightweight aluminum or underdrive pulleys. You now have less rotational drag. The engine revs quicker, feels snappier. Not more horsepower, but more usable power. I put a full set on an old 350Z. Felt like I shaved 200 pounds off the crank. Throttle picked up faster. Downshifts hit harder. No ECU tune needed. But here's where people mess up. They go too light on the crank pulley and throw off the harmonic balance. That can wreck your bearings or even snap a crankshaft over time. This ain't a lawnmower, it's an engine. Balance matters. Stick with reputable brands like Unorthodox Racing, Fluid Amper, or ATI. And for daily drivers, I skip the underdrive on alternators. Dimming headlights at idle ain't worth the gain. This is one of those sneaky mods. You don't notice it on paper, but the feel behind the wheel is huge. And if you're into mods that actually feel like something, not just look good on a spec sheet, go ahead and smash that like button. Share this with a buddy who's chasing power and subscribe for more top upgrades that make a real difference. Mod number 8, Upgraded Spark Plugs and Ignition Coils. You can have all the air and fuel in the world, but if your spark's weak, you're dead in the water. Upgrading your spark plugs and coils is one of the most overlooked performance mods out there. But let me tell you, it makes a difference. Cleaner burn, stronger ignition, more efficient combustion, and on tuned engines, it's mandatory. I did a coil and plug swap on a modded GTI that was misfiring at high RPMs. Threw in NGK Iridium plugs and R8 coils. Misfires gone. Throttle sharpened, smoother idle, felt like a new car. Now don't get cute with plug heat ranges. If you're boosted, you go 1 or 2 steps colder. If you're stock, stay with OEM spec or go Iridium for longevity. And don't mismatch junk coils from 5 different eBay sellers. You'll chase ghost codes for weeks. I've had customers do that. Wasted time, fried the ECU trying to troubleshoot. Use trusted stuff. NGK, Denso, MSD, Delphi. It's not just about performance, it's reliability. You get stronger spark, better cold starts, and even a tiny MPG bump. You upgraded the fire. Now, it's time to control the timing of that fire. And that brings us to the next hack. Mod number 7, Performance Camshaft. This one's for the folks running naturally aspirated setups who want real mechanical power, not just bolt-on fluff. A performance camshaft is the heartbeat of your engine. It controls when your valves open, how long they stay open, and how much air and fuel get in and out. Done right, you get more top-end power, stronger mid-range, and a wicked exhaust note that lets people know you don't play. Even a mild cam upgrade, when paired with matched springs, pushrods, and lifters, can unlock an extra 30 to 40 horsepower in the right setup. Throttle response sharpens, the rev range widens, and the engine breathes like it finally came alive. But here's where rookies screw up. They slap in a big cam without checking the rest of the valve train. Wrong valve springs, bent pushrods, too much lift, piston meets valve, game over. And don't even think about a cam swap without a tune. Your ECU won't know what hit it, and your idle will hunt like a lost hound. Brands like Comp Cams, Brian Tooley Racing, and Texas Speed offer excellent grinds tailored to different goals. Just remember, NA builds shine when the cam is balanced with the rest of the system. Now that the cam's got your valves dancing, let's keep that intake path clean before oil vapor turns it into a tar pit. Mod number 6, Oil Catch Can. You ever pull an intake manifold off a direct-injected engine at 40,000 miles? Looks like someone poured barbecue sauce in there. Thick, black, greasy carbon gunk choking up everything. That junk comes from crankcase blow-by, oil vapor getting recycled back into your intake. And modern emission systems make it worse, especially on DI engines. That's where the oil catch can comes in. Cheap, simple, and one of the best long-term mods you can do. I install one on every turbo build that rolls into my shop. Hell, even my daily car got one. It catches oil mist before it ever hits your valves. Keeps the intake clean, improves combustion, and helps your engine breathe like it just got a lung transplant. I cracked open my son's GTI catch can after 6,000 miles. Half a cup of nasty black soup. That would have gone straight into the intake valves. Not on my watch. But don't run a knockoff Amazon can with no baffles. That's just a soda can with fittings. You want proper filtration. Look at JLT, Mishimoto, or Radium and empty the damn thing. I've seen guys ignore it and end up with overflow in their intercooler. You kept the engine's lungs clean. Smart move. Now let's keep her blood cool. Mod number 5, Aluminum Radiator Upgrade. Let me tell you what kills more engines than bad tunes and redline revving combined. Heat. I've seen head gaskets pop like popcorn because some guy thought his stock plastic radiator was fine. Fine until it cracked during a summer traffic jam and cooked the motor. An aluminum radiator ain't just about cooling, it's about protection, more core rows, better flow, and superior heat dissipation. Whether you're boosted, cammed, or just drive hard, this is a mod that'll save your build's life. I slapped a Mishimoto unit into a customer's Turbo Civic. Car used to run 215 degrees Fahrenheit on a hard pull. After the swap, sat at 185 degrees Fahrenheit all day, even in gridlock. No more heat soak, no more limp mode. But don't stop at the radiator. Replace those old rubber hoses, check your thermostat, and make sure your fan's doing its damn job. Cooling is a system, not a single part swap. Also, bleed it right. Don't leave air pockets. Seen a guy grenade a freshly built engine because he didn't burp the coolant and overheated it on the maiden voyage? So now, we've made the engine spin easier, given it a stronger spark, changed its breathing rhythm, kept it clean internally, and locked in its cooling. You've built a strong, resilient, naturally aspirated beast. But what if I told you everything we've covered so far is just preparation? What if I told you the next step can add 40 to 100% more power? In Part 3, the final chapter, we enter the major leagues. We're talking about the ultimate power adder, forced induction. We'll break down turbochargers versus superchargers, the essential supporting mods you cannot skip, and I will reveal the 5 worst mods I've ever seen, the catastrophic mistakes that destroy your car and your bank account. One wrong move here, and you're not just losing horsepower. You're lighting your money on fire. Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss the explosive conclusion. Let me know in the comments, are you going forced induction, or are you sticking with a built, naturally aspirated setup?
Thank you for subscribing to Car Care Talks earlier. We are growing in the community. If you have not subscribed, please do, leave a comment and share. Now let's get back into the video.
An intense, fast-paced montage. A turbocharger spooling to a red-hot glow, a supercharger belt whirring, a dyno graph line skyrocketing, then a sudden, jarring cut to a destroyed engine block with a shattered piston. Welcome to the final chapter of Car Care Talks. In Part 1, we built the foundation. In Part 2, we unlocked hidden power and fortified the engine. Now, we reach the pinnacle. This is where we harness forced induction, command boost, and I expose the 5 mods so dangerous they could destroy your car and your bank account. This is where you separate the enthusiast from the pros. Let's finish this. You've cooled her down and bought yourself insurance. Now, let's talk about controlling the beast, especially if you're pushing boost. Mod number 4, Turbo Timer or Boost Controller. Boost is beautiful, but it's also a silent engine killer if you ignore this. First off, a turbo timer. I don't care if you're running stock PSI or pushing big numbers. If you shut the engine off right after a hard pull, that turbo is sitting there red hot with oil cooked inside the bearings. You just killed its lifespan. A turbo timer lets the engine idle for a minute or two after shutdown. Keeps oil flowing, lets the turbo cool down properly. I've had turbos last over 120,000 miles just because the timer did its job. Now, boost controller, manual or electronic. This is how you command the pressure. Stock boost levels are fine for warranty-safe driving. But when you want more grunt and your tune can handle it, a good controller lets you dial it in without spiking or surging. I like TurboSmart for manual setups. For electronic, go with HKS or AEM. Reliable, repeatable, built to handle abuse. But let me be clear, don't crank the dial unless the engine's built for it. I've seen pistons turned into ashtrays from overboosting on stock internals. Don't be that guy. We're commanding boost now, but more air means nothing without the fuel to back it up. And trust me, one wrong move with a turbo setup can cost you thousands. That's why I made a whole video on 7 common turbo killing mistakes and how to prevent them. Tap the link up top so you don't blow your build before it even begins. Mod number 3, upgraded fuel injectors and pump. You ever see a car lean out under full throttle? It's not pretty. 1 second it's pulling hard. Next second, boom, hole in the piston, engine's done. Why? Not enough fuel. When you start tuning, boosting, camming, whatever, you better make damn sure your fuel system can keep up. That means bigger injectors and a higher flow pump. I've upgraded dozens of setups. Hell, I had a built WRX that hit fuel cut at 5,000 revolutions per minute until we swapped an ID 1000S and a Walbro 255. After that, clean pulls all the way to redline. Fuel is your safety net. Run lean and you're gambling with a grenade. But don't just slap in giant injectors for future plans. Too big and your idle goes to crap. Your AFRs are impossible to dial in and your tuner will hate you. Match the size to your build and your goals. Precision matters here. Use quality brands, Injector Dynamics, Deechworks, AEM, Bosch, and always retune after fuel upgrades. Don't assume it'll figure itself out. It won't. You've got the air. You've got the spark. Now your fuel's up to the task. But all that hot compressed air, it needs to be chilled before it does real work. Mod number 2, Performance Intercooler for turbo engines. You can have the biggest turbo in the world, but if your intake air is hot, your power's useless. That's where a performance intercooler comes in. A good intercooler cools down that compressed air before it hits the combustion chamber. Cooler air equals denser air. Denser air equals more oxygen. More oxygen, more power. Simple science. We already talked about that. The stock intercooler on most turbo cars is built for emissions and economy, not power. It heat soaks fast, especially after a few hard pulls or in warm weather. Once that happens, your ECU pulls timing, your knock sensor panics, and your engine starts feeling like it's dragging a trailer uphill. Now, swap in a larger front mount or upgraded top mount intercooler, and the difference is night and day. Lower intake temps, more consistent power, and no catastrophic heat failure. Go with proven brands: Misamoto, Wagner Tuning, ETS, Garrett. Look at core size, bar end plate design, and pressure drop ratings, and make sure it fits your setup without blocking too much airflow to the radiator. This mod doesn't just add power. It protects your engine from detonation and keeps things consistent. And now that we've cooled the charge, let's talk brains because all that hardware is useless without control. Mod number 1, Forced Induction, Turbo or Supercharger Kit. If you're serious about power, nothing, and I mean nothing, delivers like forced induction. A turbocharger or supercharger kit transforms your engine from a spirited runner into a full-on beast. Naturally aspirated engines rely on atmospheric pressure to breathe. But slap on a turbo or supercharger and you're cramming more air and more fuel into the cylinders. That means explosive combustion. That means serious horsepower. Gains of 40% to 100% or more aren't uncommon with the right setup and tune. Turbos are more efficient and make crazy power once they spool, but they can have lag. Superchargers offer instant throttle response and a linear power band, but they drain some power to make power. Both have their pros. Both make you grin like a kid on Christmas morning. But don't just bolt one on and pray. You'll need supporting mods, fuel system upgrades, intercooler, ECU tune, stronger internals if you're pushing it, and most importantly, a trustworthy tuner. This is not a budget bolt-on. It's an investment. But if you want the most bang for your buck, forced induction is the ultimate mod. Just be ready. Once you boost, you'll never want to go back. And there you have it, all 13 mods. From the simple air filter to the ultimate power of forced induction. This isn't a random list of parts. It's a proven philosophy for unlocking performance. It's about building a system where every component works in harmony. But before we finish, I promised you a warning. Here are 5 mods I'd never recommend. I've watched these do more harm than add horsepower. Mistake number 1. Installing a budget turbo kit without proper tuning or supporting mods. This is the #1 rookie mistake I've seen destroy your car and your bank account. Guys bolt on a cheap turbo kit thinking they're getting a 400 horsepower beast for under $1,000. No tune, no upgraded fuel system, no intercooler, nothing. Result: melted turbo, warped pistons, blown head gasket. One guy I knew shelled out $6,300 to fix the carnage, and the car never ran the same. Don't cheap out on boost. If you can't afford to do it right, don't do it. Mistake number 2. Electric superchargers, aka eBay gimmicks. These are scams. Slapping a glorified hairdryer into your intake won't add horsepower. It'll just mess with your air-fuel ratio and possibly trip engine codes. If it doesn't come from a reputable brand and it's under $150, run the other way. Mistake number 3. Octane booster snake oils. Dumping a bottle of mystery chemicals into your tank isn't a mod. It's wishful thinking. Most of these so-called octane boosters only raise your rating by half a point, if that. And modern ECUs, they won't even blink. It's marketing hype in a can. You're better off just buying higher octane fuel from the pump. Mistake number 4. Noisy blow-off valves or fake turbo whistles. Want performance? Then skip the sound show mods. Those loud blow-off valves and turbo whistles might sound cool to your cousin in high school, but on the street or track, they add zero performance and just scream. I watched one too many Fast and Furious movies. Mistake number 5. Mismatch parts without a tune. Here's a hard truth. Every mod you do changes how your engine breathes, fuels, or burns. Add the wrong intake, exhaust, injectors, or MEF sensor without tuning, you're creating problems. Your engine won't know how to adjust, and instead of gains, you'll get stalling, knock, or worse. Every part needs to work in harmony. You now have the complete blueprint. From the first bolt-on to the final, explosive upgrade. Remember this, a cheap mod is the most expensive mod you'll ever buy. Doing it right is the cheapest insurance you'll ever own. Your engine's future is in your hands. You've seen the destroyers and the protectors. Pick your path wisely. If this 3-part series saved you from a costly mistake or showed you how to unlock your car's true potential, then do me one final favor. Hit that subscribe button and like this video. It helps more car enthusiasts like you find Car Care Talks and get the no-nonsense advice they need. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these 13 mods are you most excited to try? What's your ultimate power goal? Let's start a conversation in the comments below. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Remember, take care of your car, and it will absolutely take care of you. Drive safe, everyone.